Today on the Daily Scoop podcast from the Scoop News Group. It's a GSA heavy show today. First, GSA shutters 18F, leaving agencies without a key partner in digital transformation. And GSA tells agencies to terminate contracts with top 10 consulting firms. It's Monday, March 3rd, 2025. Welcome to the Daily Scoop podcast, where you'll hear the latest news and trends facing government leaders. I'm the host of the Daily Scoop podcast, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining me. Now, here are today's top headlines. The General Services Administration has eliminated its 18F program, an internal team of tech consultants and engineers that develops open source tools to improve digital services across the federal government. The announcement, which came over the weekend, is the latest in the Trump administration's ongoing efforts to slash the federal workforce. The move was foreshadowed weeks ago when Elon Musk, who's become the figurehead for the Trump administration's slashing of government programs and the larger federal workforce, tweeted that the decade-old program had been, quote, deleted. Early Saturday morning, Thomas Shedd, a mechanical engineer and former Tesla employee recently appointed as the director of GSA's Technology Transformation Services, which houses 18F, announced the program had been eliminated as part of the ongoing reduction in force effort, according to an email viewed by FedScoop. A GSA spokesperson also confirmed the terminations to FedScoop on Saturday, writing in an email that members of the 18F office were notified that they had been identified as part of GSA's reduction in force and reorganization plan and were being separated from federal service. Shedd's email cited the White House's February 10th executive order eliminating the Federal Executive Institute and the February 11th order Department of Government Efficiency Workforce Optimization Initiative as the reasoning for the program's termination. 18F workers appear to have lost access to their government email accounts immediately after Shedd's announcement, which was sent around 1 a.m. Employees then began calling each other in the middle of the night to discuss the news, according to someone familiar with the termination. It's not yet clear how federal agencies who had been working with 18F will move forward. An online GitHub repository shows 18F's ongoing work with a series of projects across the federal government, including plans to make improvement to weather.gov and projects with the Justice Department. In other news, the top 10 highest paid consulting firms contracting with the federal government are set to make $65 billion in fees in 2025 and beyond, the General Services Administration says. But according to the agency's acting leader, that, quote, needs to and must change. GSA Acting Administrator Stephen Ahikian issued last week a memo obtained by FedScoop calling for the termination of contracts with those top contracted consultants. They are Deloitte Consulting LLP, Accenture Federal Services LLC, General Dynamics IT, Booz Allen Hamilton, Leidos, Guidehouse, Hill Mission Technologies Corp., SAIC, CGI Federal, and IBM. Ahikian wrote in the memo dated February 26 to senior procurement officers, quote, consistent with the goals and directives of the Trump administration to eliminate waste, reduce spending, and increase efficiency, the U.S. GSA has taken the first steps in a government-wide initiative to eliminate non-essential consulting contracts. By March 7th, agencies are asked to provide a list of contracts with the 10 firms that they intend to terminate, as well as those they will maintain. For those that the agencies will continue on with, Ahikian wants a signed statement from a senior official explaining why the work is mission critical and, quote, provides substantive technical support. The issuance of the memo follows GSA's previous actions earlier this month with agencies to review contracts with the targeted contractors and terminate any that weren't critical to the agency's missions. But according to Ahikian, not enough action has been taken. For more news at the intersection of the federal government and technology, make sure to visit fedscoop.com. The Daily Scoop podcast is available on all podcast platforms. If you've already rated the podcast on your platform of choice, thanks so much. High ratings and good reviews of the show help more people find it. The Daily Scoop podcast is a production of the Scoop News Group in Washington, D.C. Adam Butler and Carlin Fisher help put the show together, and the entire Scoop News Group team contributes. We'll be back next week with brand new episodes. Until then, I'm your host, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for listening.